It could be a brighter. It could be a 10 brighter, yeah.
So yeah, so light levels aren't good. No, it's way too dark. And I remember when I first started, I worked on the dark side of the office, and I was much less happy. And then I moved to the other side, which is also dark, but it's not nearly as dark. But yeah, I just can't even. I can't pick samples. I can't do part of my job at my desk. I have to come back here to the library to do it.
When I was using the computer and facing to the monitor, everything's okay. But when I try to hand drawing something or writing something, I would say it's a little bit insufficient of the lighting.
It's dim, but I don't mind it that much.
I'm not a fan.
Like the light level, I guess, around my desk is dark, but I like it dark. I prefer a lot more daylight.
If you drop something, like
You may never
an
find
almond.
it again.
You can't. I mean, you can't find it.
I have the most illuminated desk in the office, but I have a lot of artificial light, which I like, and it's LED now, not halogen.
And he like untwists it with a Kleenex and he calls it like Cajun something.
Cajun dimmer
Yeah.
or something.
And I stand out. You can look across the whole office and you can see my desk just because it's so illuminated.
But I don't like real brilliant light, and if I need light, I like to have accessibility to it. And the lamp, I can pull it over and look.
For me, I think the contrast is pretty bad, because especially since my computer faces the curtain wall, it's just like this amazing glare, and it's hard because my screen basically becomes the same level of intensity as the brightness of the outdoors.
Oh, man.
And it just bleeds into itself, and that's pretty distracting.
In the sunlight, I mean, unless you're like at the window, it doesn't travel.
The overall palette of the office is supposed to be like industrial and raw, but everything's gray and pretty dark, so that doesn't help either.
Even though we have an open office, I feel like it's very confined.
It's sort of cave-like.
Especially like if we're working with colors, because
Effects.
the color psychology may have effect on us. We don't know.
I do feel like it's a little bit distracting how dark it is sometimes, but at the same time, there are times when I notice that it helps me focus.
We're way up here in this cold, dark, removed environment from the urban setting. It just feels so counter to a lot of the things that we try to promote in terms of connections to nature, boots on the ground, natural ventilation, healthy materials. And
we actually make really well lit spaces, and I think we do it because we are in a space that's so poorly lit.
Except for the glare, I don't mind the light levels, and I'm comfortable with a dimly lit space most of the time, and task lights if I need them to read drawings.
Sometimes in the morning it's just direct sunlight coming in because of the orientation of the building that I get direct sunlight, but I deal with it. I've just learned that it's a certain routine, and it varies with the season, so it's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, in the morning we get a lot of glare on our, like not glare, but it's more like just like a lot more light coming in from the windows, and so it's kind of hard to like see things around the office. And then as soon as the sun goes down, can't see anything if I don't have my task lamp like pointing directly at it.
I've been here early enough in the morning that the sun coming up on that side of the office, I've put on my sunglasses before.
Well, first of all, I've got the best view in the entire office. And so with that, all that window comes some glare and some temperature variation and overheating from time to time.
The huge positive is the dynamic. We have the three sides of nothing but glass. We have these, to my eye, just inspirational views. So for me, it's inspiring, and I hope it's inspiring to the other folks in the studio that they can see and appreciate the rain with natural daylighting, the range of experiences that you get throughout the day.
The vantage that we have on the city and the adjacent environment does impact design. Somehow it's like a reminder of a lot of things.
but like we'll have people that we call to deliver pizza or something, and they'll like stand in the door and like, can I just look around? I'm like, yeah, just, you know, because they're like, this is awesome, you know, and we're like, I just want some pizza.
We've established that there are pros and cons to our office space. We can just look up to see what the diffusers look like, or look out the window to get inspiration from the city. With the daylight in mood of this space, it reinforces the fact that when we can't control the building skin, like in this space, we really need to consider the layout and material qualities. When we can't control the building skin, it's still helpful sometimes to design from the inside out and really choreograph the quality of that space through our building facade. When using tools like daylight simulation, it's important to understand the numbers that we're getting. This next experiment tests our knowledge of the metrics.
$48.
12.
30.
I'm gonna go 35.
No!
25.
10.
18. I was gonna say 20.
3.5, 4? No.
I'm gonna say 12 right here. It's definitely brighter than my desk.
20.
16 food candles.
I would guess like 20.
8.
I'm gonna guess 20.
30.
5.
I'm notoriously bad at this foot candles game.
Actually, we're all pretty bad at this foot candles game. 19% of the staff overguessed the light levels, meaning they thought it was brighter than it actually was. 79% underguessed, and I really don't know why it was such a huge difference. Now, I asked every single person in the office to estimate the light level, including non-design staff, like our CFO and office manager. Since these are conversations that we're having at a firm-wide level, it's important that everyone in the room is part of it. For the non-design staff, I gave them some benchmarks to go by, saying 30-foot candles is a good working level, 1 is egress, and 100 is overlit. With that information, they actually made fairly accurate guesses. Looking now at the associates and principals, they were also evenly mixed in the group. What this shows is that we really need to improve at all levels of the firm. In fact, only 38% of the office guessed within 10-foot candles, plus or minus, of the measured value.
Oh, wow. We're about 17, 18.
You're kidding.
Yeah, so right.
So I'm 30. Wow.
A 42.
42, other way. Really? It's brighter in here? Okay. All right.
35. It's ridiculous.
40?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I don't have a good frame of reference to make a good guess.
Yeah, I don't think of the world in those terms.
I think we just need to do a better job at understanding kind of what what the numbers actually mean and what the spaces feel like and what's overlit and what's underlit. You know, I don't want to just have a target and then try to hit it without really understanding why we're trying to hit it, or I think we need to understand more what we're trying to do.
So I think what we need to do is develop a better understanding of the spaces that we're in. What's the light level at my desk on a sunny day? What's the light level on an overcast day? How does that change when I put my task light on? Using these experiences as well as benchmarks from existing organizations like IES, we should be able to develop a better understanding of the metrics that we use on a daily basis. As digital simulations and visualizations become part of our everyday practice, we need to understand what these things are telling us. If a simulation tells us that we get 50-foot candles in a space, okay, that's great, we meet LEED, but what does that mean for the quality of the space? Is it too bright? Is that too dim for the use that we need it for? What does that space feel like? Once we have a better understanding of the metrics, I think we'll be able to better answer these questions. As architects, we have a pretty good understanding of space and can typically guess a dimension. If not, we can use dimensions that we already know as benchmarks. For example, I know a door is 3 feet, so I can say that that space is probably about 3.5 feet. It's just a little bit bigger than the width of a door.
You have to design a fire stair on multiple projects. We've all walked out and looked at the fire. Is that the best example of a fire stair? No, but it's the one that was right here, and it's probably really economical to do it that way.
Daylighting and light levels are a less tangible metric, and I think it's just because they're new to the conversation. So if we improve our understanding of these metrics, we'll be better designers.
But having that direct experience really kind of helps. So I think the more we talk about it, guessing and testing and playing that game will make everybody more aware and have a good sense of what those diagrams and those numbers mean.
Like 1 is low, but you can see in a movie theater.
Yeah.
3, is it 3 emergency lighting? Maybe it's more. Maybe it's more than 5.
No, I think you're right.
What's it supposed to be?